Hello, welcome, and a very warm good evening to everyone who is tuning into this session. This is one of the sessions in the series where I have been talking with people from various industries and getting their inputs on how this whole pandemic has changed the way they work and how is it that their industry is adopting and what are the basic things which everyone should take care so that they can come out of this on a very positive note. Now, what we are going to talk about today is something very interesting and something very important. The hiring of a lot of companies is going to see a lot of change coming in the next couple of months and in about the next 1 year. So today we are going to have a speaker who is exactly going to speak on that topic, and we are going to ask him how does he view this whole scenario and how does he view the hiring processes or how is the hiring going to be in the next couple of months and everything to follow. So today we are going to have Mr. Abhinav Saxena who's going to speak with us. So let us get sir into the stream and let us go ahead and start with today's session. Yes, good evening, sir. Am I properly audible to you?
Hello, hi Ajinkya. Yes, very good evening. You are audible, surely.
Okay, perfect. So, first of all, a very warm welcome to our show, and thank you. We are very glad to have you here.
Thank you very much, Ajinkya. Thank you.
Yeah. So, I'll just introduce sir to everyone who's watching this stream right now. Abhinav sir is someone who who did his MBA in the year of 2008, a time when there was a similar recession ongoing. And from that point on, he has gone ahead and become an accomplished professional, and he has extensively worked in the areas of corporate sales and talent acquisition. And that is the whole expertise that he brings on the table today. He is also a very progressive thinker, someone who has played international level uh, shooting competitions, and he's also a sports enthusiast in golf and all of those things. So I met sir in our canteen at MDI, and as it turns out, we have really grown ahead, kept in touch, and I'm very glad that I could talk to him today about this. So once again, welcome, sir.
Thank you.
So let us right away go ahead. The first thing, the first question. The lockdown has been extended, and we cannot go out of our houses. So how is it that you are spending your time in the lockdown?
So, Ajinkya, see, this is a very unique situation, and I am also part of the bigger family of people. This is not pertaining to India or just a country. It's a pan globe situation. Across globe, people are facing this situation, and it's a very very unique thing which has happened. Nobody has thought about. So yes, I am again in the lockdown phase very much. I am at my place in Gurgaon, and I'm operating from home, and it's very different. And yes, there are certain challenges related to basic food requirements. So things that were taken for granted earlier have become very valuable now. So it is very interesting a situation. I think there's a lot of learning which is hidden in this particular time that we are witnessing.
True, true. It's something different from the norm, the life that we were used to. But at the same time, we can take a lot of positives out of this. To start with, sir, one question. You started your career in 2008 at a time when we had a similar economic recession, a similar economic slowdown, and there was a lot of talk about if we are going to see the jobs bounce back and when we are going to see that. Now we are in a similar pandemic right now and a similar recession maybe. So what are your thoughts? Is this a similar kind of situation, and is this unprecedented, or is it similar to what 2008 was?
Okay, very interesting question, Ajinkya. See, this situation is again, it's grave, and the situation requires a lot of attention and seriousness from everyone. When I graduated way back in 2008, that point in time, if you see and if you go back to the research done and a lot of matter now, this was entailing to the time when, pertaining to the time when there was a subprime crisis in America, which hit the complete banking system, the real estate system, and what were the complexities it had at that time. Very big banks, multinational banks collapsed, and the economy saw a very strong fall at that point in time.
True.
And also, those effects were surely, resonated, and they were very much felt by the whole globe, whole country, America being the pivot of it. However, in the same when I graduated, because I was in India, I started working with a Indian bank, which is a very renowned organization, IndusInd Bank, where I started my career. So obviously there were a lot of conversations and talks, but because of the strong fundamentals of the banking industry, we were doing pretty fine at that point in time, and I was managing that piece. However, yes, there was a lot of complex situations. The situation of where people were graduating from these schools, not getting desired jobs, not getting desired packages, a lot of expectations right on you. And 10 years back, technology was not that robust that it is today. Today, in situations like this, you and me are talking live, and this was not available in 2008. 2008, it was a fancy thing. Primarily the source of information was news. You had to hear from people who were sitting there through emails, chats. And also, technology, as I said, was not very, so it was there surely, but not as what it is today. Now if you talk about today's situation, yes, it is, you can say it is again very, it's a complex situation which we are in. Nobody thought that this would happen. Everybody was thinking that this will not happen to us. This is happening to someone else somewhere. So it will not come to us. And the way it has spread, the way it has, the we see the virus spreading across, and especially America being hit and European countries. So all the big multinationals organizations have work and offices in US, Europe, UK, Japan, all these established first world countries, and that why it affects everyone a lot. So I would say that the situation is similar and different. Similar in the way it is affecting us, different in the way how we approach it. Because of technology, because of a lot of innovation that is happening, the seriousness and the awareness of people, we are handling this particular situation in a much mature way. However, there will be a lot of serious effects that we'll see, be it on the economy, be it how jobs are being looked at. So there's a lot of reflection which is happening at this point in the industry.
True. Very interesting in a way that you say we are more connected at this point, and hopefully that also makes us a little stronger when we say how we bounce back out of this. But I'm going to go ahead and ask you, sir, what have been the immediate reactions of firms to this pandemic and everything that is going around? How are the HRs coming up and handling this challenge, and what is going on in the companies right now?
See, organizations had not planned for this. Organizations are very smart. They plan for a lot of stuff, but nobody thought that this will be the impact that they will face due to. So industries like banking have a different kind of a challenge than industries like metal and mining. So it's very customized how it's affecting. Overall, it's a downward road at this point. It's not a very bright scenario. However, organizations are addressing this problem, taking, you can say, very foresighted measures to curb this, how it impacts. If the impacts in a quantifiable manner, if an impact would be 10 out of 10 and it would devastate, then they are trying to minimize it, mitigate the risks, and see how they can look at a 6. Yeah. So that's there. And at the same time, as you have asked specifically, how jobs are getting affected at this point. There is situations which are challenging in the industry. However, there are unicorns also that are hiring. There are
Yep.
organizations which some of them are ensuring to utilize this time. So as I said, from industry to industry, depending. But overall, it's not a happy situation to be in.
Right. We will talk about everything that you said in a little depth from now this point on. But one straight question: your gut feeling on what do you think of the contracts, job contracts that were already awarded being dishonored by companies? How rampant do you think this will go on? This has been in discussion for a very long time. Key internships were given, now they are getting dishonored. Job offers were given. So what is your gut feeling on this? What are your thoughts on this?
See, as I said, so I can give my 2 cents on this surely, but I'm no expert on the situation in terms of the virus and how it's spanning. First of all, let's talk about the geographies. See, US has a very serious problem that they are facing now, and America is a country which always bounces back, and a lot of things are dependent on US for a lot of companies, lot of clients, lot of projects, lot of work that we do, how we are dependent, how we are interconnected. More than dependency, the interconnectedness. So that thing surely you can say affects the overall scenario, be it Europe. So if you say tomorrow, it's also very important to understand that tomorrow in your if your consumption in your house is of 10 things as per the kitchen requirements, and tomorrow that consumption dies, so you will not have those stuff in the very first place. What I'm trying to say is, I can say dishonoring the contract is a wrong word. So I would not say dishonor. I would say organizations are very specific about what they are looking at and what they are wanting now. So there's a lot of reflection which is happening. Earlier there were pipelines, and I would not say dishonoring is happening. There are organizations which are honoring what they had committed, because it's also the brand which values, and they don't want to dilute it. The talent is there, market is there, but at the same time you have to understand, it looks very fancy from outside that jobs need people, people need jobs. There are a lot of jobs, there are a lot of people, everybody is entitled for a job. It's so easy, let them both get married and the thing is done. But we have to understand that if you have a piece of jigsaw in your hand, that doesn't mean that it is the right piece where you're trying to fit it. So the piece is part of the jigsaw, but where it is going to fit is very important. So we need to understand that a certain job requires a certain specific skill set that they want to hire for, and
True.
that talent needs to have that skill set in the very first place. Without the virus problem also, this was a recurring challenge which across globe organizations were facing. So the upskilling part is the right part which the candidates need to do. At the same time, organizations are also now cognizant of the fact that they can't just keep on dilly dallying or delaying talent and trying not to. So even they are very cognizant, they understand competition is high. So a niche guy, somebody who's a machine learning expert, a robotic process automation expert from technology standpoint, somebody who's a strategist or who's into consulting domain. So these people, they are, whoever have been offered, they are ensuring that those offers are, you can say they are honored primarily. Maybe there is a difference in date of joining, they might get extended, and mutually convenient DOJ is looked at. Even virtual onboardings might happen at this point in time. So as I said, this is necessity is the mother of invention. And at this time, you see a lot of work which is being done across global organizations, Indian organizations. A lot of people have surprisingly, I would say, a lot of people have come across to support each other and help through platforms like LinkedIn.
True. What you have said is that there can be a little bit of delays that we see on students getting onboarded. Can you give us a rough number of what kind of delays are we looking at for someone who was expected to start their job in April? When does he come in now?
Okay, so again, from organization to organization, depending. As I said, there can be medium-sized SME firms which might not hire at all at this time. They say we don't have orders. Small size organizations, I'll not name any, something from 2,000 crore top line to a 10,000, 15,000 crore top line. Whereby big organizations and established companies, they will be very sure about what they are looking at and when they want to hire. So, it will hit it. People see, candidate and students are now very ready. They know that this is something which has toppled their plans. And what do we plan for doesn't happen all the time. We need to be also aware of that. Unless this is a very unforeseen thing. For you as a MBA graduate, you would have never dreamt of the fact that today you will be somewhere in Europe and you are unable to come back home for that matter. So as I said, so these things are getting delayed. Even organizations are figuring out, and I'm sure in your college and other colleges, organizations which are bigger, where I work, so people have given virtual internships. People are doing internships and work from home. They are trying to ramp up. The most important thing which I would like to reiterate and tell everybody is this is the time to upskill. This is the time to, because a lot of correction will happen after this. All the organizations will go back and look at what they want exactly, what are they looking out, because this is a situation. Can you hear me? Yeah. So this is a situation where everybody used to go to work at office. I used to go. I enjoy going to office. This is the first time I'm working from home. I don't like it that much. It's a unique situation. But organizations are finding that people are, working from home and very productive as well. So what will happen of the travel industry? Will it not work? No, it will surely work. Travel will continue, but maybe there is some relooking happening that how travel was happening and how it will happening in the future. Organizations like big aggregators, big online portals, big travel organizations, how will they revamp themselves? So a lot of travel to office was happening, but productivity maybe has increased also during these times. People have come closer, helped each other. So I believe that a lot of upskilling and lot of value addition in your profile and what you know, what you learn, what have you. So going back to the books, going back to the basics, talking a lot of, a Power BI tool course can really help you augment and enhance your profile in the longer run.
True. I'll just be asking you how can the talent upgrade themselves for this situation. But before that, one question that I want to ask you, you said about some companies are ramping up their hiring. Can you throw some light on this? Maybe all the industries are not similarly affected. So can you talk a little bit about this as well?
So what my understanding goes, and I'm not an authority at the same time, but in my opinion and what I've read and what I've understood is like companies like sectors like management consulting are not hiring at this point because the projects are global across, and they are organizations, and the big management consulting firms for that matter. However, maybe companies like Amazon are looking at to ramp up their workforce. Maybe technology firms are trying to look at ramping up their workforce. There are organizations which are into e-learning and education, edutech is at this point one of the things which is sought after. People are trying to see what they can do, how they can go in and see. At the same time, all online shopping is happening in terms of the groceries, the requirements. Online aggregators are there, whereby hotels, I don't think they might be hiring. A luxury segment, I'm not sure. People are not going and buying Chanel and Blueberry at this point in time. So it has taken a hit. So luxury segments, all these top end, but at the same time, the necessities, the requirements for that matter are there. So we can name the industries. Banking, as I said, banking is an industry which is backbone financial services for that matter, or infrastructure. So after things become normal and we see the economy again open up, I think there will be a new normal which will be established surely. So it will be a very new thing. I think a lot of research and people who are kind of very focused to make a career, it is for them also very important. People who want to be entrepreneurs, they can identify sectors where they can bring in a lot of value. They can create something which was not at all there initially. Organizations are building, and we have seen big startup miracles from this country, surely. So yes.
So, very interesting the way you say that we are going to have a new normal going ahead after this whole crisis ends. But I'm going to go ahead and ask you how can the students who are there currently, the talent who's there currently, they can prepare for this? And meanwhile, I'm also going to ask everyone who's watching this maybe you could, if you have any specific questions for Sir, something that can be related to the topic, you could just comment your questions and maybe we could think of getting those towards the end. But as of now, sir, what do you think should the students do? Should the talent right now in the industry do so that they are ready for the challenges to come?
Okay. So, see, students have been studying who are in B school specifically, who are preparing for their careers ahead, and even working professionals. If I talk about B schools, they have done a lot of theory work. They have read a lot. They have done a lot of mock-ups, lot of strategy classes. In their classes, they have done case studies, and they know a lot of theory, surely. Unfortunately, this was the time for summer trainings, and they are unable to do that live in action. But it's a very unforeseen situation. So, very importantly, are they talking to their peers of people who are connected and doing internships at this point? Are they also speaking? So there is a, once you are not in the field, there is a limitation that comes automatically in this situation that you can't supersede. So I would like to say, so that theory part, eventually having a lot of conversation with your seniors, maybe who are in the industry, what maybe spending time with them, maybe 20 minutes from your alumni, where they can give you certain insights about how the industry practically moves. So you can have a sneak peek in that at this point in time. So there is a lot of, I would say, very interesting way you can approach this situation. When you talk about upskilling, I don't have to tell you, because there is so much matter available, be it YouTube, be it edutech companies like Udemy. And for me, I would say it works. It worked really well. LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is one place which not only gives you networking opportunity, it gives you a point of view. You can understand others' point of view from professional standpoint, and you can also have your own discussion channels open. There are groups, there are discussion channels, and LinkedIn has their own learning platform as well, where you can go and learn. And so LinkedIn is very integral. Lot of multinationals, and LinkedIn has an algorithm. You need to go to some top influencers profile and see how LinkedIn is being operated. So LinkedIn in itself is a study. At the same time, if you talk about, a lot of big multinationals are doing webinars, a lot of open discussions. TED Talk is one area where there is one-way transmission of knowledge, but webinars is where you can write, you can talk, you can discuss. And if there is no webinar, create your own webinar. Connect with people, bring in 50 people, start conversations like you do in your B schools. Connect with the wider audience, connect with senior professionals, so that a viewpoint is created, you understand what is happening. How many people have known have approached organizations which they have not even heard of? you know I'm just giving an example, and people might know this company. I heard about a company called Shiseido, which is a personal care company of Japan. Now it's even older than other personal care companies. This is just one example. So there are a lot of multinationals, a lot of big organizations where people don't even know their name. How many people would know what is happening in space tech industry, aerospace defense, or for that matter, something which is not mainstream, biosimilars. So are you doing your research? Are you identifying areas which are niche, where you think that hiring is happening? It's a lot of common sense also. The big study that you people do is surely there, but that value chain, that integration into how it can benefit you is something that is very important. And I'm sure, this is the time where a lot of learning will happening in next 2 to 4 months.
Again, a very good insight that you brought in. I mean, of course, everyone needs to keep on upskilling, but this is a time where students could do some smart work and maybe look at some niche industries where there will be a lot of job openings, and maybe build their profiles up for that as well. So before we are going to go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and ask you for your closing statements. We have a question from Akash, who is a student from IIM Sirmoor. So I'm just going to display that on the screen. Akash says, "Hi, Akash from IIM Sirmoor. My second question is, what are the aspects that MBA students must focus upon to have better profile to suit the job opportunity situations that will emerge after the pandemic?" Can you give your thoughts on this?
Hi, Akash. Very good evening. Thank you very much for sharing this question. Akash, the situation after pandemic is something which was like before it. Nobody thought that this pandemic will hit. In the same manner, nobody at this point knows what will happen after the pandemic exactly. I think people can have their views and organizations have their visions. Some people would be hiring the way they have been hiring. Some people will take corrections. Some people might not hire. Some people might say, let's upskill our existing workforce. So there can be various, views on that. But if you talk about specifically how MBA, I think what you are doing is very brilliant. In your MBA, whatever college you are at, I think IIM is one of the best brands of our country. a lot of good studies, a lot of good work that you were doing. If there was no pandemic, what were you have been doing? You would have been reading, learning. The same rigor continues for sure. But at the same time, yes, you can look at profiles or sectors, specifically sectors that you dream of being in. So tomorrow you want to be in a sector, for example, in the food delivery business or in the food major business. So you can look at organizations like KFC, Domino's, McDonald's. These are big brands, and others also which has come. A lot of boutique brands have come in food industry. What kind of people have they hired? Everybody is available on LinkedIn. You can go check their profiles, look at their education, look at their career graph. There are people, and it's a live example. I started my career in corporate sales. I moved to executive search and in talent acquisition. So I completely changed my stream. From corporate sales, I moved into you can say a sub function of HR. And I'm very satisfied on that front because I help a lot of people at this point. So it's very important. And then if you identify such profiles, you can connect with them, start an open dialogue. You have to have that in MBA. The most important thing that you learn is lose your fear, start speaking, start exploring new avenues, things. So you kind of unleash yourself, break all chains, try to identify areas which were unexplored before. You need to do that with the same rigor, and I'm sure you can look at something which will be beneficial to your career and to you in the long run.
Yes, so I think Akash, that should answer your question. Thank you, sir. Any closing comments you would like to make? Any message to everyone who's watching this before we actually go ahead and conclude today's talk?
No, Ajinkya, first of all, I think it's a brilliant effort from you that you're bringing in professionals across industries and having an open dialogue and conversation. As I said, it's not a one-way transmission. It's an interactive session. Today I am speaking, tomorrow I'll be listening. So it's very important for us to maintain the rigor, bring in the right people, and have very different viewpoints so that the maturity increases and people come together. And as we see in this particular situation, a lot of people have come together for the well-being, for the health, for the way people are united due to technology. I think technology plays a very big role at this point in this juncture, and I'm very sure that we will emerge as winners out of this situation, and I think more wise.
Yes. So thank you. A lot of insights that you shared today. I think they really kind of widened our horizon when we think of everything that is going on in the industry today. And you spoke on a range of different topics, and I've just absolutely loved the way you put things into perspective one by one this evening. So I'm going to say thank you, sir, for spending time, for taking out time to join us today, and I hope that I can have more interactions, more sessions with you on a various different topics going ahead in future.
I am very thankful, Ajinkya, for your time. I wish you all the best in this endeavor and look forward to connect again sometime.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
So that was Mr. Abhinav Saxena speaking with us, guys, today, and very interesting things that he touched upon. He talked about how this is definitely a difficult time, but how this is not a time to lose hope. He told how we should really start ramping up our efforts, and how a lot of different things like using of your LinkedIn can be a very good tool at this point. He also spoke about something which I find interesting, is that identify niche sectors which can really have a good kind of potential in the coming days, and start building your profile for those sectors, because it is really going to help you and help you get ready for those things. At the same time, go ahead and build your network in those fields. So I think that is the whole crux of everything that we had today. Over the next few days, we are going to have people from across a lot of different industries, including event industry, architecture firms, real estate industry, restaurant industry, hospitality industry, entertainment industry, and a range of different people are going to join us. So do stay tuned and keep yourself updated for the next things to come. Till then, I'm going to bid you adieu, and I'm going to say tata, bye bye. Have a good day, and I'm going to see you again tomorrow.